হ্যালো, ওয়েলকাম, সবাইকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি মন ক্যাফেতে। তোমরা শুনছো ঢাকা FM 90.4 এবং শনিবার সন্ধ্যা 7টা মানে মন ক্যাফের সাথে আমি আছি নিশ্চয় চৌধুরী তোমাদের সাথে। এবং দেখছো যে আজকে কিন্তু একটু অন্যরকম আমাদের ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ডটা। হ্যাঁ, আমরা মাঝে মাঝে একটু চেঞ্জ করি, মানে মানব মন তো আসলে বৈচিত্র্যময়, তার একটু বৈচিত্র্য চায়। তাছাড়া বৈচিত্র্য নিয়ে এসেছি একটু অন্য জায়গায়, আবার তোমাদের সামনে হাজির হয়ে গেলাম। যথারীতি নিশ্চয় চৌধুরী আছি এবং সাথে আছে
আমি রূপা। এবং বৈচিত্র্যের কথা থেকেই আসি যে আমাদের সাথে আজকে যারা আছে তারা
যারা না, একজন আছে। প্রথমেই ভুল, রূপা সবসময় ভুলটাই করে। একটু প্রফেশনাল
আমাদের
হও।
সাথে আজকে যারা আছে তারা সবাই বৈচিত্র্যময়। ক্যামেরার পেছনে যিনি আছেন তিনিও, এবং সাথে যে দুজন আছে তার মাঝখানে যে আমাদের গেস্ট, সে স্পেশালি বৈচিত্র্যময়। নিচে সবসময় ভুল ধরার ধান্দায় থাকে, কিন্তু ভুল নিজেই করে ফেলে। সো কিছু করার নাই।
আসলে কিছু মানুষ অনেক ক্রিটিক্যাল চিন্তা থাকে। আমি তো আসলে খুব সহজ সরল একটা ছেলে, এত ক্রিটিক্যাল চিন্তা
করে না, তো এই জন্য নিজে প্রশংসা করতে থাকে সবসময়। আই এম সো টায়ার্ড অফ দিস, বাট ইটস ওকে। মাফ করে দিলাম আমি তোকে। আমরা কি আমাদের গেস্টের কাছে যাবো আজকে?
অবশ্যই তবে গেস্টের কাছে যাওয়ার আগে একটু বলতে চাচ্ছি যে যারা শুনছে এবং দেখছো তারা কমেন্ট করে ফেলো। একদম আমরা রেডিও ঢাকা FM এর ফেসবুক পেজে আছি লাইভে, সেই লাইভে নিচে কমেন্ট করে ফেলতে পারো এবং হোয়াটসঅ্যাপও করতে পারো। হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ নাম্বারটা হচ্ছে 01841904904, আজকে মনে আছে আমার। এবং শেয়ার করে দাও লাইভটা, তাহলে আমার তোমাদের ফ্রেন্ডরা সবাই দেখতে পারবে, শুনতে পারবে এবং কমেন্ট করতে পারবে। এখন আমাদের গেস্টের কাছে আমরা যেতেই পারি।
অ্যাবসলিউটলি, আমরা গেস্টের কাছে যাবো। তার আগে একটা বড় ব্যাপার, নির্ঝর যে পরিমাণ মানসিক ট্রমার ভেতর দিয়ে যায় এটা বলার
হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ
সময়,
নাম্বার বলার ক্ষেত্রে
এবং ওকে দেখে মনে হয় যে ট্রমাটাইজড হয়ে আছে যে এই ভুল করলাম আমি। বাট আজকে তুই পার হয়ে গেছিস, তরণী উতরে গেছে। গুড। আচ্ছা, আজকে আমরা আমাদের গেস্টের কাছে যাচ্ছি, বৈচিত্র্যময়তার কথা থেকেই আসছি। আমাদের আজকে গেস্ট অতিরিক্ত 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 বৈচিত্র্যের সম্ভার নিয়ে আজকে আমাদের মধ্যে এসছে। আই নো হার পার্সোনালি, সো ইউ নো, মানে মেবি আই নো আ লিটল বিট মোর দেন পিপল উড গেট to know, but we will try to bring out as much as possible. All right? So, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
I'm an English bully. That's the easiest.
আমার নাম তো বলতেই পারো।
I'm Safira. I have a podcast myself. I'm a life coach and currently living in London. Munmun is a great friend of mine here in Dhaka that I've gotten to know in the past 2 months of being here. We relate on everything weird, wacky, unique, from spirituality to, you know, more of the taboo things.
Yes.
And yeah, I feel like that's a great reflection of my own personality myself, weird, wacky, taboo and unique, if that's an introduction in itself.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the introduction. It was awesome, you know.
এবং আমার কাছে মনে হয় রূপা, আরেকটু যদি আমরা একটু ক্লিয়ার করি যে আসলে ও থাকছে এখন ইউকেতে, কিন্তু আসলে ওর রুটটা কোথায়, তাহলে আসলে অডিয়েন্সরা একটু রিলেট করতে সুবিধা হবে।
Actually, I was going to talk about this. This is funny because let's go back to our story. I think that's going to clear up a lot of, you know, like confusion.
Like, why
so,
am I here?
I'm going to do this in Bangla. ঠিক আছে? এইটুকু সময়, হ্যাঁ। সো একদিন আমি একটা কল পেলাম, কলে আসলো যে আমার নাতনি আসবে, ও বাংলা পড়বে এবং তুমি বাংলা পড়াবে কিনা। তো আমি বলেছি যে অফকোর্স, আমি তো আই উড লাভ টু ডু দ্যাট, রাইট? অ্যান্ড দেন উনি কথায় কথায় আমাকে বলল, যা হয় আমাদের আসলে যারা ফোন করেন তারা হয়তো বা যদি আমাদের চেয়ে একটু সিনিয়র থাকেন তখন ওনারা হয়তো একটু শেয়ার করেন যে আপনি কোথা থেকে কিংবা তুমি কোথা থেকে। হ্যাঁ, একটা দুটো কথায় বেরিয়ে গেল যে আমাদের আসলে হোম টাউন সেম, মানে অফ অল দ্য থিংস কিভাবে এত মানুষের মধ্যে হোম টাউন কিভাবে সেম হলো।
স্বজনপ্রীতি,
হ্যাঁ স্বজনপ্রীতি, এক্স্যাক্টলি, আই উড গো ফর দ্যাট, ইউ নো। এবং শুধু তাই নয়, সাফিরা বাংলাদেশে আসবার পরে আমরা রিয়েলাইজ করলাম যে শুধু সেটাই নয়, ওর যে মানে যার যে আত্মীয়ের বাসার কথা বলা হচ্ছে সেই আত্মীয়ের বাসা আসলে আমি আমার খালার বাসার ছাদ থেকে তাকিয়ে তাকিয়ে দেখতাম এবং বলতাম, wow, such a beautiful house. আমি কোনোদিন ভাবিনি after years I'm gonna meet one of those, you know, like people যারা ওই বাসায় থাকে। So yeah, Safira, so you want to add something to it?
Totally. I mean, so I like to call this the serendipity.
Yes.
And there were multiple with this woman. So that was the first one, you know, where you were like, okay, I think I need to meet this woman, you know, see what she's about. For me, the night before my Bangla lesson, I was on the phone with my friend and I was like, I just need a Bengali expat who knows English but knows and has lived outside but knows Dhaka really well, and that can show me around and I get along with and aligns with me, and you know, in all the weird ways. And then literally the next day, well, as we're manifesting together, like, you know, the night before, and the next day my Bangla teacher comes as Mun, you know, and sits down with me and is immediately like so chill. She's like, oh, don't worry, I'm not like other teachers. And immediately we start talking and chatting, and she's like lived in America, and you know, we have so many common interests, and is literally the Bengali expat that I manifested. So I often say that I manifested Mun into existence, into my life, and yeah, and many more serendipities have happened since then.
Absolutely. And I'm so thankful that it happened. So coming back to that point, how did you enjoy coming back this time? Because you have come back after 2 years, right?
Yeah. So it's been such a whirlwind of a journey, because 2 years ago when I was here, I just really connected with this place. I felt like it felt like a part of me became more whole again, you know, where I realized where so many parts of me came from. I made more sense. The loudness, the color, the vibrancy, the, you know, the constant chatter, and, you know, you know, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is where this part of me makes so much sense. This is where I'm from, which doesn't exist in the UK. And I was like, and I didn't realize that I had been missing this piece in my environment, you know, for so long, to the point where it kind of just became white noise, you know, this missing part of me. And I came back and I was like, oh, I felt such a deep sense of belonging, you know. And one really key piece that I felt then was, in the West, there's so much individualism. I didn't realize how lonely I felt. And then I came here, and then I came back, and I went back to the UK, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's such a sense of community here. Like, everyone's so hospitable. Family is such a key value. And then I went on a whole like self-discovery, kind of falling in love with so many different things and growing up journey over the past 2 years. And I was like, right, I want to come back to my belonging, because I know that's where my power rests and lies, is in your body, in belonging. So I want to go back to Bangladesh, and I've been missing my home and my country and my land for like the past year. Been writing it in my like journals, going like, I miss Bangladesh, I'm going to go back in 2024, you know, all of this Paris reminds me of Bangladesh and all these things. And so I came back thinking, yes, I'm going to connect, and actually it's been a completely different experience, a completely different journey. It's been actually, I've come here for the first time by myself. I've come here for the first time as myself, as a young female and unmarried, and I felt like I just got to feel immediately all the prejudices against that you don't have in the West, that you don't have in the UK, you know. And essentially kind of what I would take as just a lot of the perhaps negative experiences and negative aspects of the Bengali culture, I got to really face and witness head on, especially very vulnerably, because I came by myself. So there wasn't like my family to protect me, or like my father, like another man or something, you know, right? Or another, like, you know, a little microcosm of English culture to be, you know, to feel familial with. It was just me by myself, no one speaking like fluent English apart from you.
Right. Thank you so much.
and my cousins, but they're so small, they're younger than me, like, you know, so they don't really understand, and they don't really connect on the piece of like what it's like to live outside of Bangladesh, you know, what it's like to be an independent woman with freedom, all of these things, and to suddenly have this all like stripped away from me. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what the hell?
Absolutely.
You know. And freedom is one of the things I value most in my life. And so I got to, I think, just experience what was the other side of the coin, you know, the flip side of the coin of, you know, whilst here is definitely a piece of my belonging of, you know, the loudness, the color, the vibrancy, but there's also, you know, in my lineage and in my ancestry, women being, you know, mistreated and not having freedom and so many limitations. And I felt like I got to feel that weight of my ancestors on this trip.
Wow.
এটা খুব গ্রেট, কিন্তু আমার অনেক কিছু ড্রব্যাকের কথা বললো যেগুলো নেগেটিভ লিখেছে, তারপরে প্রথম কিন্তু শুরু করলো যে এত কিছু পরে সে মিস করে বাংলাদেশের কালচার, বাংলাদেশের যে হসপিটালিটি এবং মানুষকে আপন করে না যে ব্যাপারটা, এটা কিন্তু সে মিস করে এবং সেটা কিন্তু সে বলল।
Absolutely, and we have changed over time. I know like about Nichar, he's a teacher himself, and then whenever I see him with his students, they're very cozy and they have a different kind of relationship now. So I think maybe we have changed, but a lot of people have not.
Yeah.
So you are coming back to a lot of people probably who have not changed, right?
No, yeah.
So did it have an impact on you, or how did you deal with that? If you want to share.
Yeah, I mean,
were you like a little
there was this part of this
low or-
culture,
Yeah.
which includes a lot of judgment, a lot of gossiping, a lot of, like, you don't really know what people are thinking about you. There's so many opinions being thrown about everywhere. It's a secret's never really a secret.
Yeah.
And this part I kind of knew about Bangladesh, like about my own extended family and community and stuff, like, for a long time, but it never really came to the, let's say, forefront of my consciousness because I was never really here. I could just live outside of it, and they could have, Bangladesh could have whatever gossip going around and stuff. It never really impacted me.
Of course.
But here, again, coming back by myself,
Yeah.
and so just facing all of this, just right in front of me,
Right.
It was suddenly, and again, not my family to kind of like, I guess, protect me in a way, or at least energetically. I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so different to being in the UK. And in the UK, I had cultivated my own environment of just honesty and integrity and kindness and acceptance and no judgment. That's what me and
Right.
my friends are like,
Right.
and it's a lot more common in the UK, just to I feel like a lot of people are, because not to say that people in Bangladesh aren't doing this, but a lot of people are focusing on their education and their career and doing lots with their lives, women, men. There almost isn't that time to just kind of like gossip about what's going on in everyone else's lives,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And there isn't that kind of like auntie sit down with tea kind of
That's true.
culture in the UK.
I love it, like just the way Safira is being so truthful and honest about all of it, and
এবং
like
এই
saying it out
সিনেমাটা
loud.
কিন্তু আসলে পৃথিবীর সব দেশে বাঙালি সমাজে আছে।
That's true. মানে আমরা আসলে দুঃখিত যদি এটা খারাপ শোনা যায়, তবে আমি আসলে জিনিসটা ফেস করেছি না, যে
এটা কিন্তু
আসলে
মজা, আমার কিন্তু অনেক মজা লাগে কুটনামি করতে। রূপারও লাগে, কিন্তু রূপা বলছে না, কারণ সে honest না।
আমি আসলে কুটনামি করলে আমার চেহারা চোরের মতো হয়ে যায়, so I look like a thief whenever I do like gossiping.
You look like a
I
what?
can't say the term like on a public
Oh,
platform,
sure.
but like, but I remember like we laughed about a lot of things, and then like talked about exactly what you told me just right now, and I feel I genuinely feel that you tried to cope with like you had your own coping mechanism and you did well, like I saw you. And then our little like meetups and then
Yeah.
talks,
Yeah.
probably you were able to like ventilate a little
Yeah,
bit,
they were like
right?
those small pockets of escape where I could be
Right.
like not judged, I can just like it's not even not judged, which is like key to these kind of friendships, let's say.
Absolutely.
But just something that I stand for in my being, the core of my being is just authentically express myself.
Right.
Just like freely express myself,
Right. Right.
which is so difficult for me to do here.
So on that note, so we have a social practice that even though, for example, I would say like, I want to support you in something. Like you do this or you like this or you like that or you want to talk about this, you want to speak your mind out, and I want to be there by you supporting that, right? For the social practices, we cannot, the existing social practices, we cannot, right? And we kind of have to like shut our mouth down and then, like, okay, no, like if I support in this case, maybe people are going to judge me.
Yeah.
Do you think that has an impact on your soul and body and mind and entire
Oh my gosh.
being? Yeah,
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Like that was something I was just gonna say. Like
Yeah.
as I think something that I'm learning more and more in my life as I just continue to live it, as something I particularly saw here is just, I think we think You know, a lot of us are, let's say, you know, holding ourselves back or holding our tongue. Often for safety and to belong,
Absolutely.
you know, basically to belong with a group of people so we don't get, you know, kicked out, you know, so we don't go like, so people, our families or our communities are like, oh my gosh, you support this or you're weird, we're no longer going to talk to you. That's why basically it's for our safety, most of us, you know, and our sense of belonging, most of us kind of, you know, hold back from full expression. But I think what a lot of us don't realize on an energetic level, on a soul level, when we're holding back from who we really are, that is naturally draining you. You know, that is already taking pieces from you.
Right.
And you don't even realize, like, by the end of the day or by the end of the month, the years that you've been living like this, like hiding behind masks or not expressing yourself fully to, you know, to most people, you're actually, you know, an unbelievably drained person.
Absolutely,
you
and
know?
you're burned out, right? Like
Yeah,
every day,
burned
whenever
out.
you know, like you saw me, you were just like, Moon, how are you doing? And I'm like, I think that was a common dialogue that I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I'm burned out, you know, I'm drained, but at the same time, we have to get going. I know,
Yeah.
like he went through his operation, you know, and then
wow.
he had to start work. You know, like he was working like immediately. We do not have that time frame here where we can, you know,
Yeah.
find that like stay away time period or like,
Yeah.
you know, kind
time
of
to
like
stop
rest
or
our
slow
body
down.
and, yeah,
Which
slow
I've also
down.
recognized as part of the darker culture.
Yeah,
in
that's
particular.
exactly
it's like
what I was.
rest
Go,
doesn't
go, go, go,
exist,
go.
you know.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's actually similar in places like London,
Yeah.
Paris, New York, and all these things. But I feel like as the culture has always traveled across from west to east, like been almost adopted from far away, it's like that but on steroids.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Like you look at the city and it's, you know, that is even a perfect picture itself. It's
Right.
like a typical Western city built on steroids. There's like high skyscrapers everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, here in Dhaka, traffic, pollution. It's
Everyone
just
is running and running and
It feels
running.
like
It's
the
easy
city
city.
is
exactly.
smoking. The city is
Yeah.
on steroids. You know,
Yeah,
like it's
literally.
just like it's not
It's hustle
like the
culture
people.
on, like-
Yeah,
like
it's hustle
times
culture,
100.
Exactly,
Yeah.
absolutely.
এটা কিন্তু খুব ভালো বললো যে সেটা
হ্যাঁ।
নিউ ইয়র্ক হোক কিংবা প্যারিস হোক কিংবা লন্ডন হোক ঢাকা হোক মানে মেগা সিটির এটাই একটা প্রবলেম এবং
But
এটাই
then-
একটা স্পিড
But then New York, you know, like I went to Bloomington, right? I was a Fulbrighter at Indiana University. So Bloomington is like the Nachpur. So when I first went there, I told you this, right?
এই জন্য
Like,
কিন্তু বারবার খালি
yeah.
ব্রুমিংটন ফিরে যেতে চাই
Bloomington really is the chair. Exactly, because I think I found my peace. You know, that's like my
Yeah.
peace spot. I think all of us have that. Do you have one? তোর কোনো জায়গা আছে যেখানে তোর বারবার মনে হয় যে ফিরে যায়?
না আমার আসলে এই যেমন আমার কিছু ফ্রেন্ড আছে ওরা খালি বাজে ভাই আপনি এত ট্রাভেল করেন ভাই বাইরে যান কিন্তু গেলে মনে হয় কি কোনো গ্রামের মধ্যে
হ্যাঁ।
শহর কথা মানে বিদেশ মনেই হয় না অথচ আমি বিদেশের ওই ছোট ছোট শহরগুলিতে বেশি এনজয় করি যেখানে শান্ত স্নিগ্ধ ব্যাপার আছে একটা এবং জাস্ট প্রকৃতি নেচার আর কিচ্ছু নাই এই
Absolutely.
গাড়ি ঘোড়া অস্থিরতা এগুলো কিচ্ছু নাই আমার কিন্তু ওই ছোট ছোট শহরগুলি ভালো লাগে
একদম এবং নির্ঝর একটা ভালো ব্যাপার হচ্ছে যে ও যখন যেখানে যায় কয়েকদিন আগে আসলে বলবো কোথায় গেছিলি ভিয়েতনামে গেছিলি হ্যাঁ তো দেখা যায় যে পেছনে ফুলকপির ক্ষেত থাকলে ওটা সামনে গিয়েও ছবি তো দ্যাট ইজ রিয়েলি কিউট
That's it, আমাকে বলেছে তুমি ভিয়েতনাম গেছো নাকি তুমি এই মানে যশোর গেছো কুমিল্লা গেছো এটা বোঝা যাচ্ছে না পিছনে
Exactly.
ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড দেখে
But I looked at the picture because we're so busy, right? You know, sitting in the car for hours. So I was just like scrolling
It's cute.
through, and then I looked at his picture. I'm just like, what is that? It looks like a field. Like a cauliflower field. You know, why is he there? You know, he's in Vietnam. He should be
What
doing
you doing
things.
there?
What you doing there? You know. So I guess yeah. But you know, through traveling, I think he finds his peace spots.
Yeah.
He's got many.
spots.
Do you have a peace spot where like you feel like going back?
আচ্ছা এটা তো শুনবো কিন্তু
Yeah.
অনেকগুলো কমেন্ট চলে আসছে
হ্যাঁ।
তো আমার মনে হয়, একটু পড়ি হ্যাঁ
comments.
আচ্ছা এইটা আমি এক্সপেক্ট করছি একটা খুব কমন প্রশ্ন যে আহসান আলী লিখেছে যে আর ইউ ফ্রম সিলেট এটা মানে লন্ডন এইকে মনে হলে বাঙালি মানে মানুষ মনে করে যে হয় সিলেট থেকে যাচ্ছে হ্যাঁ
British English.
I'm from England and everyone's like, are you Sylheti? This is true. Everyone from London, every Bengali is from Sylheti. I'm like the minority Bengali in
Yeah.
London, you know. I don't understand other Bengalis in London because they're all from Sylhet, you know, when they speak Bangla. I'm actually not. I'm quite, again, unique. Like I said in my introduction, my dad is from Dinajpur
Yes.
and my mum is from Chittagong.
Another one from Dinajpur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dinajpur.
Dinajpur.
এখানে স্বজনপ্রীতি হচ্ছে আমি ছাগলের 3 নম্বর বাচ্চার মতো বসে আছি আর তোমরা যারা লিখছো লিখতে থাকো কারণ হচ্ছে শেয়ার করতে থাকো এবং কমেন্ট করতে থাকো আমরা আড্ডা এগিয়ে নিতে পারি
Absolutely.
হ্যাঁ we are talking about peace spot
Yeah.
My peace spot. This is a good question. I'm gonna answer it in two ways.
Okay.
I'm gonna say one physical one and one, let's say, metaphysical or spiritual. You know.
Okay.
Because I think both are really important.
Yeah.
So physical. So I know I just said I badmouthed the city, but actually a place that I really want to go back to, that I feel a place of belonging, is Paris. That's my dream place. You know, to explain why, I think the words in itself won't put it to justice, but it's just, I stepped in that place and I felt like I had been there before and I needed to continue being there. And I almost felt like my future self there, as if, thriving, as if this was already my home. My cells felt like a reckoning and a piece of belonging there, and it's just so beautiful. I feel like I'm walking in a painting, and
nice.
Beauty is re-energizing. Beauty is so important.
Of course.
You need to be creating and surrounding yourself with beauty all the time.
Also, like what is beautiful to me might not be beautiful to you, but
Yes.
then I should stick to what is beautiful to me. See what I
1,000.
mean?
I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah.
Because whenever I say Paris, people are like, oh, Paris.
What? Yeah.
It's so busy. There's like poo everywhere. Like,
Yeah.
everyone's so mean. And I'm like, your Paris is not my Paris. Okay.
Like,
I'm telling you to go
You're gonna
find
lo-
your
you're-
Paris.
you're
You go
gonna lose
find
your
your
money
place.
back. That's what people say.
That's
And I
what
say,
people say. Literally,
yeah,
they're like,
literally, yeah.
what?
I'm like, my father did that. My father lost his money
Yeah.
back, but I don't care.
but
Like I would
went
still
there.
love to go there.
Exactly,
right?
and I had
Yeah.
a beautiful experience of, just. Yeah, I mean, I really resonate with the culture where it just focuses around just savoring the moment and savoring pleasure and just not being, which is almost like the opposite of how I grew up, especially in London, especially from immigrant parents, where, like I said, hustle culture and go and look to the future, plan, and by 6 p.m. Parisians are all out on the balcony, like sitting down, having a wine, chatting with their friends, having a smoke, enjoying this piece of cake. No one's on their phones in a cafe. No one's on their laptops in a cafe, unless it's a working cafe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? London, like, something I used to say a lot in Paris about Paris is, you never see anyone with a takeaway coffee in Paris, because they enjoy and sit down with their, coffee. But in London, everyone's walking somewhere with like a coffee to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Paris is my place of belonging. Like, that's where I go, and Edinburgh as well, because that's where I went to uni, and that's where I found a lot of my soul family. And it's just nature, and it's a very spiritual and mystical place to land because of its history. A lot of witches and magic happen there and stuff, so I think I really resonate with the land. But yeah, so I think physically on this world, on this planet, Paris and Edinburgh are right now my homes. But I think wherever you go, it's so important to have a place of peace in your heart,
Absolutely.
in your inner world.
Absolutely.
Whether that's I hear that I know that you every morning wake up early before, not only everyone's up, but before the whole city is up.
Yeah.
And that's important because you can feel the silence,
Absolutely.
of the city.
Absolutely. I do
Everyone's
that.
dreaming and you're in that energy,
And even if I want to sleep, I cannot sleep, because my body has its own clock and it wakes me up.
Yes.
5:30, 6:30, I'm up. And I go to the veranda, I try and look outside, and then it's just a different world.
Yeah.
You can hear everything.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
As soon as the day starts, you cannot hear anything else.
Yeah.
It's just like pollution. It's, I don't know, like a lot of honks.
Exactly, and I feel like that's such a great metaphor for such a lack of clarity that can happen when you're being overwhelmed with this noise and things. If you just think about it, that's just, you don't even have space to even think or actually see clearly.
Yeah.
Right. What's going on? In your own life or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so having those moments in the morning are so important. And for me, it's I think it changes depending on where I go. But when I'm in my grandma's house, my Didu's house here, it's having my own private time in the morning, whether I'm I do morning pages, which is something from the Artist Way, where I get to kind of be with myself, and it's my way of showing up for myself every day. But also listening to music is particularly something for me, because I just get to go in my own inner world where I am just authentically me, you know, and I get to just express myself freely in my
Very
own
nice.
inner world.
Very
এটা
nice.
কিন্তু আসলে খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট এবং এই কারণে কিন্তু
খুব
এখন সব
দরকার,
জায়গায়
হ্যাঁ,
সব কালচারে কিন্তু সকালে ঘুম থেকে ওঠাটাকে খুব গুরুত্ব দিয়েছে, মানে সূর্য
Absolutely.
ওঠার আগে যদি আমরা উঠতে পারি তাহলে মানুষের লাইফটা কিন্তু একদম অন্যরকম হয়।
হ্যাঁ, এবং তখন ব্রেইনটা আসলে না ক্লিয়ার থাকে, আমরা চিন্তা করতে পারি সহজে। আমার মনে হয় সকালে উঠে এক গ্লাস পানি খেয়ে, যদি অনেকে চা কফি খাওয়ার অভ্যাস আছে, আসলে কোন হ্যাবিটটা কার জন্য কিভাবে কাজ করবে এটা নিজের শরীর বুঝে মন বুঝে করে নিতে হবে।
চা কফির থেকে
হ্যাঁ।
ওর খুব ব্যাড ফুড হ্যাবিট, চা কফির থেকে খালি পেটে এক গ্লাস পানিতে, হালকা গরম পানিতে লেবু এবং
হ্যাঁ,
মধু,
এটা অনেক ভালো।
হ্যাঁ, or you can have chia seed।
আমাকে কথা শেষই করতে দেয় না।
কারণ তুই কোনো খাস না এসব, আমি জানি তো।
আমি না, তবে আমাদের এখানে গেস্ট হয়ে এসেছিল শিমু। শিমুর বাড়িতে আমি একদিন ছিলাম এবং তখন শিমু আসলে ওটাকে বললো যে তোমার বডি ডিটক্স করার জন্য একটা ড্রিঙ্ক বানিয়েছিল সকালবেলা, এবং সবুজ রঙের দেখতে আমার মনে নেই। আমি আই অলওয়েজ টেল সাফিরা দ্যাট ইউ নো I keep information like work-related information very like well closeted inside, but then I forget about the rest. And then you know I can always find out about that, right? You know, so এই কারণে আমার মনে নেই ওটা কি ড্রিঙ্ক ছিল, but that was a very nice drink যেটা আসলে খুব রিফ্রেশিং ছিল।
গ্রিন ড্রিঙ্ক যেটা করে আসলে
মনে
ওই
হয়।
পালং শাক, তারপরে আমলকি, মানে কয়েকটা
কিছু
সবুজ
একটা
শাক দিয়ে,
হ্যাঁ।
ফ্রুট দিয়ে, গ্রিন অ্যাপল।
But that's a very good habit. Or even if you don't want to do anything, you know, বারান্দায় গিয়ে বাইরের দিকে তাকিয়ে থাকলেও, একটু সবুজ দেখলেও, একটু বাতাসটাতে একটু শ্বাস নিলেও, একটু ব্রিদিং করলেও আসলে কিন্তু সেটাও বিশাল বড় ব্যাপার। হ্যাঁ, ওটাও cleanses your body and mind and soul, and you know, and you need that, right? So coming back to the point we were talking about resonating with.
তবে এটা আগে
হ্যাঁ,
একটা যে একটু আগে তোমাদের কথা একটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট ফিলোসফিক্যাল একটা কথা কিন্তু চলে আসছে, সেটা হচ্ছে যে পৃথিবীর সব দেশের ক্যাপিটাল সিটি কিন্তু জাস্ট লাইক সেম এরকম বিজি। তো যদি মানসিক শান্তি মানুষ চায়, সবাই বলেন আমরা যে আমরা একটা পর্যায়ে রিটায়ারমেন্ট করে গ্রামে চলে যাবো, প্রায় কিন্তু আমরা সিনিয়রদের বলতে শুনি। কারণ হচ্ছে আসলে গ্রামে একটা মেন্টাল পিস থাকে, অস্থিরতা থাকে না যে আমাকে কিছু করতে হবে, আমাকে এই করতে হবে, ওই করতে হবে, এটা পেতে হবে, ওটা পেতে হবে। তো এই কারণে যাতে মেন্টালি ভালো রাখতে চান তারা গ্রামের দিকে যাওয়ার চেষ্টা করেন, শহর বাদ দেন।
Absolutely. So, Safira, when you're not like we have been talking about how you're resonating with things, right?
Yeah.
When you're not resonating with something and your body is like here, your mind is here, and your soul goes the other way, especially here in Bangladesh. So how do you deal with that? How do you take care of your mental health at that point? Because that's also very important, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think the first step is actually like, you know, and this is not exactly a thing that heals in itself or gives you energy, but it's just listening. You know, because I feel like a problem that we have, especially here, and maybe even in like, you know, loud, busy cities, is that we're not even recognizing when something isn't resonating, because we've learned to just disconnect from our bodies, right? So we can't even tell when we're like rejecting a person, an energy, a place. And so something for me that I've, you know, had to kind of do over the last couple of years is reconnect with my body and build that relationship with my body again, where I can
Right.
actually feel, oh my gosh, like I'm being drained and, you know, this isn't resonating. And the way that feels like is, well, over the last couple of years, I've strengthened my relationship with my intuition. And so the way that it speaks to me often, if it's something that's very like intense or loud or needed, it's actually just like a voice in my head, which sounds like I'm insane, but it's not. It's just like, you know, a thought comes up of like, you're being drained, you know, you don't need to be here. Why are you here? You know,
Yeah.
right? And stuff. It's just like, it's very clear cut. And it's like, you know, you can just tell when it's your intuition and not just like a random thought,
Right.
you know? And I feel like, you know, how I'm kind of protecting myself from that and how I'm, you know, I guess re-energizing from those things is still something I'm learning to do, because here I've had to, I feel like almost stay being drained just so I, you know, I'm not judged, you know, and not kind of like, yeah, looked down upon, I guess. But again, similar to having that place of peace somewhere in your heart, it's going back to that place, you know, afterwards or later or at the beginning of your day. You know, if this person is draining me, like, you know, leave early or say, oh, you know, this has been great, I'm gonna go now, like, or something's calling me, right? And go. The most important thing is just time to myself. You know,
Absolutely.
that's what re-energizes me. That's what
Perfect.
brings back the energy. You know,
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, coming back to that, like, you know, about re-energizing and reconnecting with your body. Talking to your body is very important. You know, I think it replies.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm tired and I don't want to take this, you know,
Yeah.
take me out of this, you know.
Yeah.
And then that connection is very much important to keep the sanity overall.
Yeah.
See what I mean? Otherwise, it's going to
1000%.
affect us to an extent where people actually face like severe reactions, like
Exactly.
for example,
Yeah.
anxiety, for example. See what I mean?
Depression happens,
Yeah.
suicidal thoughts may
Suicidal
even
thoughts
arise,
come,
you know,
yeah,
and you don't
absolutely.
realize that's actually a symptom of just years and years and years
Suppression
of
and-
suppression
yeah,
and
yeah.
disconnecting from your body, like slowly.
Absolutely.
And then all of a sudden it comes to a tipping point and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm depressed,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, you're like on the edge. Okay, we don't have much time left, but I know that Safira does a lot of other things, such as like, you know, singing and many more, like meditating, which like matched yours, and so much more. I can't even, you know, like complete the list. It's a lot of things, and I'm so proud of you that you know you have. You've gotten to know yourself. Most of the people don't do that, and that's where they like start losing themselves. And I think that's where we connected, that you know, like you're on a spiritual journey, I am on a spiritual journey. I know personally for him that he is always on this, you know, journey where he's trying to find himself as well, and that's why we connect so well. And you know, coming back to that point, like you do a lot of other things. Like, how do you manage time? You're traveling, you're like coming to Bangladesh, you're dealing with like a lot of things here, and then you're going back and you have a packed schedule. But then you say like, I have a podcast as well, I sing, I dance, I'm a DJ, and I'm like, oh my goodness, girl, what don't you do?
Oh, you're a DJ?
Oh
No,
yeah.
I want to be a DJ.
Oh,
so
okay.
she'll say I'm a DJ in a year's time.
I'm manifesting that.
Yeah, you're manifesting it.
Manifest-
That's actually how you manifest. You say it in the present. I am a DJ.
You are.
Yeah, right
yes.
now. That's how you manifest.
So coming back to that, Safira, would you sing a
Yeah.
couple lines for us?
Of anything.
Of anything, whatever you
Yes.
like. Yeah.
Okay, so okay that it's an English song then.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay, I would love to give a little bit of context to
Yeah,
this
yeah,
song.
please do.
So this is going to be Halo by Beyonce, which is just, to most people, a regular pop song. But this song is a song that I've sang so many times with my best friends, with my family, like, you know, my chosen family, let's say.
Yeah.
On the guitar, out in public, in open mics, in events. And when I sing this song, I literally imagine my best friend Lucas and Ossia singing with me.
Oh,
You know?
nice.
Right? And and the lyrics mean so much to me. So I'll sing that. I'll sing Halo.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's no guitar, but I'll sing it by itself.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Okay.
We're gonna imagine it.
Yeah, just imagine it. It's like a little acapella.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you want to, you can sing along
Yeah.
in the comfort of your own home.
Absolutely.
Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. They didn't even put up a fight. They didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my angel now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had you breaking. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out. Everywhere I'm looking now, I'm surrounded by your embrace. face. Baby, I could see your halo. You know you're my saving grace. You're everything I need in my. It's written all over your face. Baby, I can see your halo. Pray you won't fade away. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo, I can see your halo. Halo, see your halo. Halo.
Oh,
That's amazing. All I could think about, wow, she's saying so high. And that's been like a practice, you know, like I could never go that high. He is good.
Well, I used to be an
yeah.
opera singer, so.
I know, yeah. Oh, yes, sorry. You add that to the list. I added.
তো আমার আসলে যদি আমাদের সময় একদম শেষ, কিন্তু আর কি কি করে ও যদি দেখা যেত তাহলে ভালো
What
হতো।
else do you do?
Oh, that's a genuine question.
It is a genuine question. I think you bring out the real me from people. Yeah.
I feel like if I'm going to answer anything of what I do,
Yeah.
it's that.
Oh.
Good.
I bring out
you.
I bring out the real in people.
Yeah.
Who they really are.
Yeah. Because you are so real. See what I mean? Then, you know, like even if whatever I wanted to say like jokingly in public and wouldn't say that, you know, thinking like what society is going to say, you know, I do this, I do that, I belong to this family, I shouldn't be talking like this. You know, in front of you, it's very easy and I can be myself. Like unapologetically. And that is a huge quality.
এবং এটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট আসলে, যে যদি নিজেকে ভালো রাখতে চাইলে আমরা আসলে সবসময় একটা মুখোশ পরে থাকি, তো কারণ আমাদের পরিবারের কাছে, ওয়ার্ক ফিল্ডে, সব জায়গায় তো এই মুখোশ পরে থাকতে অ্যাক্টিং করতে করতে নিজের সাথে নিজের একটা অবিচার করার ব্যাপার থাকে।
Absolutely.
এবং তাতে আসতে এই একটা করে মানে কষ্ট না পাওয়া, না বলা, বলতে 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 আমাদের মধ্যে আসলে চারপাশে অসুস্থতাটা তৈরি হয়ে যায়।
Absolutely.
তো সবসময় বিং রিয়েল হওয়া খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট।
Absolutely. Yeah. So do you want to say anything to the audience?
Yeah,
Tips,
that was.
something?
I mean, that.
Yeah, before we wrap
You
up.
literally read my mind of just one of the most important things is your authenticity. You know who you. So I said earlier, I'm a life coach, and this is kind of what I'm about to say is what I stand for, and is why I help people in this way. But who you uniquely are is exactly what the world needs. You know.
Absolutely.
And so you may currently now be in spaces in which you cannot express yourself freely, but just know that there are people and there are places who are ready and welcome to accept you completely as you are, and that starts with yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Safira. এটাই সত্যি কথা যে হয়তোবা আমরা সমাজের ভয়ে অনেক কিছুই বলি না, আমরা অনেক কিছু বলতে পারি না, তবে কিছু মানুষ আছে, কিছু মন আছে, কিছু প্ল্যাটফর্ম আছে, যেমন মন ক্যাফে, যেখানে আমরা আসলে মনের কথা বলতে পারি এবং নিজেকে খুলে তুলে ধরাটা খুব জরুরি। তাহলে বাড়ি ফিরে না মন খারাপ করতে হয় না যে আরে আমি বলতে চেয়েছিলাম কিন্তু পারিনি।
ইয়েস, এবং এই চিন্তাটা নিয়ে আজকে আমরা মন ক্যাফে থেকে বিদায় নিতে চাই এবং তোমাদের সবার সাথে দেখা হবে আবারও নেক্সট স্যাটারডে 7টার সময় ঢাকা FM-এ। সবাই ভালো থাকবে, সুস্থ থাকবে, টাটা।
Yes, দেখা হবে সবার সাথে। Take care, bye bye. Thank you, Safira.
Thank you.